everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm sharing a bonus Halloween video with you all, and I have teamed up with another YouTuber here. Her name is Caitlin from Living That Mama Life. Now we are going to be sharing with you our absolute favorite Halloween treat ideas. I hope you get some really cool ideas from these videos. Do not forget to go check out her video once you are done watching my one, so you can get all the ideas and pick for yourself which one you're going to make this Halloween. Just because we're in lockdown and the world is going a little bit crazy right now doesn't mean that we can't make it fun, especially for the kids. I mean, I know we can't really go door to door. I know all of us can't really go door to door and actually trick or treat, but you know, it still doesn't mean that it needs to be cancelled this year. So I hope you get some good ideas from this. I hope it puts you in the Halloween spirit. Let's get into it.
So for this first recipe, you are going to need a plate or a tray with some baking paper on it, just so the bananas don't stick to it. And then you are going to need some ice cream sticks, some white chocolate melts, and some bananas. Depending on how many you're making, you'll probably need some more bananas or some more white chocolate, but this was plenty for the 4 that I was going to be making. And then you'll also need something to melt the chocolate in. I'm just using this coffee mug here to put in the microwave. So first off, I'm just going to start by peeling my bananas, and then I'm going to cut them in half and put the ice cream sticks into the center of them.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
So once that is done, I'm just going to go ahead and grab these white chocolate melts, and I'm just going to put them into this mug here to put in the microwave for about a minute and a half. And once they are fully melted down, I'm just going to go ahead and dip those bananas straight in there and make sure they are coated nice and evenly. Once that's done, I forgot to mention at the start for what you will need. You will need small choc chips just for the eyes, or you could even melt down some milk chocolate and just put little dabs for eyes on them as well if you don't have the chocolate chips. And it is that simple. My kids absolutely love these, and I hope yours do too.
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
So this next one I'm sharing is pretty much the same concept. You are going to need a tray or plate with some baking paper on it, just so the strawberries don't stick. And you're going to need some strawberries, some white chocolate melts, and some milk chocolate buttons for the eyes and the mouth. And I'm just going ahead and using that same mug to melt my white chocolate down in, just so that I don't waste any. So first of all, I'm going to fill that mug up a little bit more with some more white chocolate melt. I'm going to put that in the microwave for about another minute and let that melt down, just so that it's not boiling hot while I'm using it. And then I'm going to go ahead and wash my strawberries. Now, 2 tips I'm going to give you with this recipe is, 1, make sure that your strawberries are completely dry before dipping them into the chocolate and making these. It is so important that they are dry. And also another tip that I want to share with you is keep those green bits on the top, because if you take them off, it will make it impossible to dip the strawberries with your hands. I mean, you could use a fork to do it, but definitely if you're going to be using your hands and doing this a very quick way, you need to keep those green bits on. And actually, there is a 3rd tip that I learned while making these. You definitely need to get those chocolate chip eyeballs and mouth on pretty quick. So you probably want to do that every 3rd strawberry or so that you do dip, because otherwise that chocolate is not messing around. It dries up so quickly. I had to go back and double dip all these strawberries to put the chocolate chips on, because they just were not going to stick. So it's up to you. If you want double dipped strawberries, then definitely go ahead and give them all a layer first. But otherwise, get those choc chips on ASAP. Okay, so this next recipe I'm going to be sharing isn't quite as healthy. So for this one, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of peanut butter, 1 egg, half a cup of brown sugar, and 4 tablespoons of melted butter. You're going to need some milk chocolate melts and some Reese's miniature peanut butter cups for the top. You could also use Maltesers instead of the Reese's cups if you like. Now, this recipe is peanut butter biscuits for the base, and then you're going to be putting the spider on top. The kids absolutely loved this one, especially my 2-year-old, and I loved this one too. I mean, who doesn't like peanut butter biscuits? So I will say though, for this one, these peanut butter biscuits are sort of like a shortbread consistency, a bit like they're pretty crumbly. So for this recipe, you could basically make any biscuit base that you want and then just copy the idea with the spiders on top. But I went with the peanut butter biscuits because I was using the peanut butter miniature cups, Reese's miniature cups. So I just thought that they would go well together, and they did. I absolutely love them, other than the slight mess that they make. So I've just gone ahead and put all of the ingredients into this bowl here, and I've also gone ahead and melted that peanut butter down a little bit just to make it a bit easier to add in to the biscuit base recipe. And once I've got that all mixed through, I'm just going to go ahead and roll that up into sort of large tablespoon sized balls, and then I'm going to flatten them out a little bit onto some baking paper on a baking tray, and then I'm going to pop them in the oven on 170 for about 12 to 15 minutes. So now that they are all cooked, it is time for the fun part. I've just gone ahead and unwrapped all those Reese's peanut butter cups, and then I've also brought this container of pre-made eyeballs just to save all of the time of making them myself. And I've also gone ahead and melted down some milk chocolate in this sandwich bag. I'm going to be using this as my piping bag, and I've just cut a hole in the bottom of that to get little bits of chocolate on top of here to help make the Reese's peanut butter cups stick. Now, I let these biscuits cool right down, so that is why I had to add a little bit of chocolate. But if you put these cups on just before it cools down, then you will have a lot more success. They will just melt down a little bit onto the biscuit and stick themselves. And then I'm just going ahead and adding on all of the legs. These are a little bit sloppy, but this is my first time doing this, so I still think it turned out really great, and the kids loved it anyway. They are young, so they don't mind. And now all of my spiders have their legs. I'm just going to go ahead and add all of the eyeballs. And again, get these eyeballs on nice and quick when you're doing this chocolate, because again, this chocolate does not mess around. It dries up so quickly. I was having to grab chocolate from the more recent ones just to make them stick on the other ones that I had piped earlier. Then I ended up just going ahead and adding a bit more of the piped chocolate to the top just so the rest of the eyes could stick. But these turned out so cute. Let me know if you tried this one in the comments down below. This was definitely my favorite one. And so the last one I'm going to be sharing with you all today is the mummified brownie. Now, this was another one of my favorites out of all of these. Of course, the 2 unhealthy ones were my favorite, but I just went ahead and used a box brownie mix here, and I've just gone ahead and followed the instructions as per the back of the box. This recipe did call for 2 eggs and about 2 tablespoons of melted butter. I had to go back and add another egg, as you will see when I'm mixing it, because I didn't read the box properly. But just go ahead and follow whatever the instructions say on the back of your brownie box, or if you're brave enough, go ahead and make your brownie from scratch. But then I've just gone ahead and mixed all that together, and once that's all mixed through and that second egg is added, of course, I've just gone ahead and popped that in a baking tray with some baking paper on it, and I've put that in the oven for the amount of time that my brownie box said. Of course, go ahead and follow your brownie box, whichever one you decide to use, because that is how it is going to come out the best for you. And once that is all cooked, we get to do the exciting part, of course, the decorating. So once that came out of the oven, I just went ahead and let that cool down a little bit, and then I cut that up into 12 pieces and then laid that out onto a tray ready to decorate. The first thing that I went ahead and did was melted down my white chocolate in my makeshift piping bag here. I did cut the hole a little bit too small to start with, which is why it came out a little bit zigzaggy here. So I just went ahead and cut that hole a little bit bigger for the rest of them, and that made it come out a lot smoother. One tip I have for you when using melted chocolate in a piping bag is let it cool down slightly. Not too much because it will harden up, but just slightly so that it doesn't come out completely runny. I probably could have left mine a little bit longer, but it worked out fine anyway. You don't need to be the best artist to make these. So once you've gone ahead and added all the white chocolate on there to make them look like mummies, go ahead and add those eyeballs to finish them off, and that is the completed mummified brownie. I hope you guys enjoyed these treats I shared with you today. If you make them, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Also, please don't forget to check out KATELYNS' video over on Living That Mama Life. I will leave her video in the description box down below. She has some amazing treats to share with you guys that I know you guys are going to love. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all next week.